Hello. What's up everyone? So I'm at Moto Mechanica. Basically we're trying to get the KTM sorted out for the Spanish MOT, which we have tomorrow. Finally. We're going to get the bad boy on Spanish plates, sorting out all the paperwork now. Funny thing is I actually had the MOT booked yesterday, and sod's law, as soon as I step out on the bike, gear on, everything ready to go, got all the paperwork. You know, I even had to buy a fucking £150 rear seat, because in Spain, and I guess for any sort of like change of registration MOT, if it's a two-seater bike on the V5 and you don't have two seats, which, you know, I didn't have this, this didn't come with the bike, then you have to buy it. So basically it was a bit crap, because, you know, you have to spend £150. I couldn't find any of these in Spain, so I had to pay 150 quid on eBay UK to have a second-hand part. I guess the offer was off a bike shipped out to the UK, so that seat was £150. Step out of the house ready to go, get everything done, and the fucking indicators don't work. Well, the one indicator doesn't work, the rear left one. So that was a bit of a bummer. You know, we had to change the date of the MOT, which is a pain because you have to pay some money to change it, but whatever. So the MOT's tomorrow. Came in, bought some new ones, and the ones that they have ordered me here don't work. So we have to find another set. But other than that, I'm pretty sure it's going to pass with flying colours. And to be completely honest with you, the process of actually registering a bike is not that complicated. If your bike is standard, if you've got like a whole load of jizzy bits on it, that, you know, customizations and stuff like that, it's a little bit more complicated. But if you're like me and this bike is like bog standard, it's going to be a fairly simple task to do. All you need, for those of you interested in figuring out what you need the V5, you need your like bill of sale from when you bought it, if you have it, and you need to have like your residency documents for the country that you're registering it in. Thankfully the KTM came with the European Certificate of Conformity, and for those of you who don't know, it's basically like a very detailed spec sheet with a signature from the factories. It's 89 euros for the actual MOT itself. No, 89 euros for the taxation. The actual MOT itself is going to be about 50 euros. Quite expensive, because it's quite an extensive check, because it's on UK plates. Fair enough. And then there may, I'm not too sure, but there may be a tax on, not on the value of the bike, but on the emissions. I'm not sure if that's actually applicable here or not, because I've owned the bike for longer than a year. But I hope not. But that might be a thing. But I don't think so. But I'll let you know what happens with that. But yeah, bit gutted that we've had to do that, because everything else was going so well. But whatever. We've got some really interesting little projects coming up with Justin here at Moto Mechanica that I'll tell you a little bit about now. So check this out. So this is an engine off a 2016 Yamaha R1. So that is out of that bike. That it's just frame, you know. If you guys have a 2015, 2016, I guess up to 2019 R1, that's what yours will look like if it's totally gutted. Obviously this bike here has some seriously epic jizzy bits on that your bike may not have, but that's pretty awesome. But that's the engine. So that is going to be used tomorrow for a project that we're putting together, where Justin is going to go over all of the tuning ins and outs, which you guys would probably be super interested to know. I'm interested, so it's going to be a really interesting video series. Next up here we have another R1 that is just awesome. I mean, being around all these R1s just makes me want to have an R1. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, like, it just looks the bollocks, you know, even if it's completely naked like that. But I think something has taken the cake today, and that is, we've got a genuine BSB bike here, boys and girls. So this is OMG Racing's S1000RR 2020 bike. 2019-2020. What an absolute stunner. This is a genuine BSB bike. And you can see here, guys, this is the closest you're ever going to get to one of these. Look at these things, man. It's like touching it for you, you know, rubbing it on your behalf. Shush. Absolute stunner. Full Akpovich system, of course. Beautiful bike. What I love as well with these CRC seats as well, and I think I'm going to get one of those on my race bike, because it looks like every single one of these jizzy bang bang race bikes all have crcfairings.com seats, so it must be good. This is what we just picked up as well. So this is a 2018 Yamaha R6 that is being used for a track bike. It's got a lot of bells and whistles on it. That's also very much a weapon, but of course we can't get past without looking at the booster, bro. So this is actually a stretch booster. This is actually a stretch booster. It's not a turbo booster, but Justin's had it on the dyno and he said it can do, it makes a, what's the booster make, Justin? 150? Yeah, 150 to the wheel, 20-year-old bike. It's pretty epic. Obviously the Panigale V4R, which you guys have all seen the video of us doing the dyno of on and the customization of. Very, very good bike. I mean, obviously you can see it's a bit of a special motorbike, right? It's got the red tape around it. And now you wonder why I want to get into track riding. This is pretty much the reason. I would be a crazy person if I didn't do more track riding with this just amazing access that Justin has here. I love seeing bolts removed. Was this a crash bike?
It's had a bit of a knock to that bolt there. So.
Yeah.
It's a bit bent.
It's a bit bent, just like you.
If it takes a hard knock, the aluminum will break first without bending the bolt. Now, what happens if you bend the bolt? Okay, and it's a steel bolt coming out to support your crash protection. If you bend that bolt, usually it'll take the frame with it and bend the frame, possibly. I've also seen them in heavy crashes rip out the lug on the cylinder head.
Fuck.
So you don't really, I prefer to be paying for fairings.
Yeah. Than a new engine.
And engine welding.
I mean, I guess it's like if you're racing, so then it's probably not worth having.
Exactly what happened to that bolt, having a tiny knock on the side of the engine here, that could have easily caused a leak. Okay, just having an engine, well, a small engine bolt, M6 engine bolt, getting bent in a crash. But if you bend a steel bolt going and holding your engine through the frame, obviously when that bends, it's going to take the frame with it and possibly snap off the lug on the engine. So that wouldn't be a repair I'd be up for, really. And
no.
I think it's worth paying for fairings than paying for
for sure. But then if you have like a normal bike just for road riding, would you have frame sliders? No.
If I had any kind of frame sliders, the only ones I would go for is GB Racing. I'm not endorsed by them. I don't get paid or anything. That is legitimate opinion.
You heard it here, GB Racing. So what are you actually doing to this engine?
Oh, we're going to be rebuilding the top end. We're going to be putting some YEC cams into it, and valve springs, and doing some cylinder head porting work. The engine's already making 190 horsepower. We're hoping to see 200. So this is real horsepower. This is not gimmick horsepower.
This is tried and tested.
Yes, mate.
Seriously, guys, if you are ever in the east coast of Spain area, come and see Justin and Fran, he's a legend, at Moto Mechanica, and they will sort your bike out. As you can see here, Justin and Fran know what they're doing with this bike. They're doing a full top end build, YEC cams, everything. Justin is surrounded by high performance super bikes, and they also do track day storage. So if you are of the persuasion where you have a motorcycle for a track circuit and you want to store your bike in Spain over the UK horrible winter months, speak to Justin, keep your bike here over the UK winter. He will service it, he'll look after it, and make sure that actually if you wanted to come down and do track days in Spain over the horrible UK winter so you can ride year round, this is the man to speak to. Where's he gone? He's gone over there. So as it turns out, the KTM RC8 is a bit of a shit. We've been through 2 sets of indicators, and it turns out that the RC8 uses a 6-volt system on the rear indicators instead of a 12-volt system like every other bike uses that's not from like the dark ages. KTM, what the fuck? Fran is a genius and he has completely sorted out the indicators. What should have been a simple 5-minute job has turned into about 3 horas? 2:30, sí. 2 hours and a half, yeah. KTM. I love the brand, but damn, you guys make things complicated, man. Like 6-volt indicators on the rear, 10-watt 50 engine oil, not 10-watt 40. Every other bike on the planet is a 4-cylinder bike. That is a 4-stroke bike can use 10-watt 40 oil, which is cheaper, but you will decide to use 10-watt 50 and use 6-volt indicators. I mean, come on. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. We're going to be doing a couple series with Justin coming up. One of them, again, is a tuning video where we're going to be literally on the dyno room in there talking about the processes that he uses to actually tune bikes and things like that. I'm going to find it super interesting. I think you guys will as well. And also, I'm definitely selling the KTM now after the MOT's done, so I'm excited for my next bike. I think I genuinely have a problem though, which is that I have a bike for about a year and then I get bored of it and just want something else. There's nothing wrong with the bike. KTM's a brilliant bike. It's fucking mental, but I just want something new.